How we doing, folks? Just give me one sec and then we'll get started. Rip, I was muted the whole time. We're back again. Yeah, Thursday's a bit of a rush. Apologies like that. But we went till 10 past last week, so it's all good. So, um, how is everyone doing? How's it been? It's been a week already. A week already, eh? Pretty insane. Yeah, should be unmuted now. I know YouTube's always a bit behind. Should be all good. Should be able to hear me. Stream should be working. Hopefully. And all that jazz. We should be good to go now. Let me know otherwise. Hey Matt, how you doing, buddy? Dissy, Leah, Mr. Brooker, Benjamin. Nice to see you. To see you. Nice. Lots of learning that is not Percy. Yeah, that's it. That's how learning goes, right? Suddenly you turn around one day and you know kung fu, except you know game art. There's never like a switch, right? Always like a gradual sort of thing, at least in my experience. And it's ongoing, right? Because you can get to like a professional level. You can get to a professional level, sure. but you're still going to be you're still going to be learning at that professional level. That's where you do a lot of your learning. So, and you should be good. Okay, now we're doing. Is there any reason a plane should have more than 4 vertices? The Unity standard plane is highly subdivided. What do you mean? I don't really use Unity, so sometimes you can have a plane with lots of divisions on for the vertex painting, all sorts. For nanite, it might be used to tile the texture upwards. There's a few reasons. Oh, 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 oh. That on the other side. So we must have. Oh yeah, because we separated this last week from its main body, right? So, I have to do this in mind. I know how to do this in Blend, right? The same way we usually do. So merge. Let's go all the way professional level here. Yeah, Leah, for sure. Like, there's no way, right? That you wouldn't, with the way that you work and your progress. It's just a matter of time. So for sure, already work in a very sort of professional way, which is really cool. Off to Tenerife. Oh, nice. Where's Tenerife again? Isn't that where Tenerife? That isn't that where they filmed that movie Madagascar? With the CG zebra. Why is everyone going to Tenerife? Some secret sauce going on there. Say. The Canary Islands. Not too well travel. Well, I've been to America like 14 times, but that was like growing up. I haven't traveled much in recent years. Scared of planes. Yeah, planes are scary. Planes are one of the most things I'm sort of scared of. Even though there's more chance of like getting rabies and in a car accident and all that sort of planes. Something about planes. Don't know what it is. Got some new mocap in at work. Very excited to give it a go. Manus gloves manages per finger motion. Wow. So are we going past the days where you have to like, because back when they did motion capture stuff at the university, you had to wear like a super tight suit thing with loads of bobbles on them, and you just have like loads of little bobbles all over you. Is technology moving away from that now in the animation world? Like, what's the lowdown in animation? What's your main focus for today? The same thing we focus on every week: trying to take over the world. In this case, trying to learn Blender. So, like I said, we picked this concept, and we're working on, obviously, we're working on like just this side for a while, because we only work on it on the stream. There may be times I might take it offline, but I haven't so far. And then we're going to learn how to use Substance Designer. We're not making foliage. Fuck that. That can be mega scans. Hell no, I ain't making no foliage. And we'll learn Designer to make the tilables, and we'll do some shader work and vertex painting, and then that will upskill basically, because I don't know Designer too well. I haven't made full environment in a long time. Haven't 3D modeled in a long time because I'm a lighting artist. So and I haven't used Blender before until the end of December. So it's a nice slow paced second monitor stream, and answering questions and chatting. So that's what it's about, really. All that jazz. Sit master of the third dimension. Yes. Yes. Do you think going to 3D art school is worth it? Depends. It really depends how disciplined you are. I'm not very disciplined in terms of like when I was a student. It's hard to be disciplined now in just life, but as a student, definitely not. So having a structure can help you in that regard. We are going to okay, so we need to figure out rotating is still a big issue for me. So free rotating is fine, but I know that as soon as I turn snaps on, we've had this issue for a few weeks, we've not rotated that much stuff. When snaps come on and we rotate, we always get stuck no matter what. So there is something in one of these menus that isn't letting me snap rotation correctly. So what I've been doing is annoyingly doing like the Maya, just rotating like a tiny bit with snaps off, and then just committing to like whatever it is, right? Which is not ideal, so I need to figure out what that is. Well, yeah, going to game art school, it's a lot better than it was. Back when I did it in 2000, and I did a college games course and then a university course. So I went to Burton College for games and media. We used something called Lightwave. Teacher hated us. Said a monkey could model better than me. I've told that story on my channel before, which is hilarious. Probably can model still better than me to this day. And then I went to university. I was very bad at 3D, no natural sort of inclination for it. And at university, started to get decent, but nowhere near like the job. Being job ready in 2012 when I was one of the first students to get a job from the course, right? But the level now compared to then is so much higher. Like, wouldn't have a shot if with my student portfolio back in those days to get a job now. But information is more accessible now. There weren't really content creators or communities. There was Polycount, but there weren't many communities. Discord communities weren't really a thing. All of that sort of stuff. So, yeah. If you know what you want to achieve and where you want to look, you can self-learn. But university gives you a structure, but it also is a lot of debt. I still pay my undergraduate and postgraduate to this day. So if you do a university course, you've got to like really commit to it. Well, otherwise, it's just a waste of money. Like the amount of people I know that have done university courses for games and never work in games, it's just you've just wasted all that money just so that you could party and all that sort of stuff. It's not worth it in the end. Quite frankly, hand retro. Went to university for game, knowing I wanted to do 3D, specialised every year with module picks. Luckily, my local uni offered a degree yet. Most unis will be specialised now, so that's, again, schools are much better. Back in the day, we were forced to do character art, even though we wanted to do environments. That is a super medieval way of teaching. So that is now no longer the case. Most courses now are specialised to the three most popular jobs in games in terms of their umbrella role, right? And that is hard surface, environments, and characters. Most universities structure around picking modules that relate to that. And they'll have main tracks, and then they'll have side tracks as well for like lighting or technical, and all that jazz. So, yeah. So the add-on doesn't break, by the way. The add-on I was on about, what you actually have to do is you have to initialize it every time you load Blender, and then once it initializes, it keeps your bookmark, which is cool. You go to increment, turn snap off, hit control when rotating. Don't have increment on, but let's see. 2 marks straight first. Yeah. I was a very slow boomer. Slow boomer. So slow bloomer for getting job ready. I wouldn't have been able to come over to Canada without my degree. Yeah. Degrees do help with the visa situation. Although now there's lots of weird stuff with that, right? With Trump and all that madness. So who knows? Classmates who just didn't care for the course always baffled me. Why would you sign up? Yeah, that happens a lot. Trust me. I taught classes that were. I ran modules that had 350 people on for 3D modeling. So there are a lot of learning styles out there and a lot of people that have different attitudes to work. Everyone's chatting on YouTube. Just check some. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I've been dual streaming the last few weeks. It does take up a lot of bandwidth, but every week it's low. Most people are on YouTube, so I'll probably commit to just YouTube. Maybe we can get more bitrate that way, for what we're doing. Um, oh yeah, bookmark. So there's this add-on. It's called like what it's called, but basically it lets you bookmark a camera, stored views. But you just have to click this button every time you load Blender, and then you can just go to your same camera angle, just like Unreal Bookmark, basically. I completed a BA in games design in 2006. Cool. I did my BA. I started in 2008. I finished it in 2011. Yeah. So at university, you've got quite a few different type of learning personalities. However, you can generalize them into like a few camps. Um, so you can have, for example, you've got people that are really keen, right? And when I say really keen, they're gonna work their ass off. By the time they get to the second year, they've already done something that can be featured on 80 level. They're already industry ready, but they want to finish off their degree instead of getting the job from the second year, which makes sense. And then you have, let's say that's 99 percentile, right? And then you've got sort of your 70, 80, 85 percentile where people have really good attitudes for work. They're not as fast in their visual eye as those people I just mentioned, but they do get there. So they get a job after university and they get job ready, usually at masters or at the end, and they do everything you tell them. They listen, they're humble, and that's great, right? That's what you want. No matter your skill level, you want somebody that is good to work with and listens and takes feedback. And then you've got people that are good, and this is more of the rare kind. People that are good and have literally no respect for you as a lecturer. So you get those, and those people don't listen to a word you say or teach. They do their own thing. They do eventually get jobs, but they fail probation or they're not fun to work with, but they can stay in the industry. It takes a lot to really burn all your bridges in the industry, right? But that's rare. That's more of a rare case. And then you got people that aren't interested at all. They just like partying, so they start their assignment in week 8 of 12 and have done nothing for the last 8 weeks. And you get the general picture. You have loads of ranges in between there. But yeah, you get quite the mixed bag. So that's generally how it works, at least from my experience, in terms of teaching. Yeah, the latency on Twitch is much slower, faster. So I think it's literally like what 3, 4, 5 seconds. Silver, let me know. But I know on YouTube, anything I say is about 25 to 35 seconds away from the chat. That's the only downfall. But Twitch sucks at saving VODs, so I do like to have uh, documentation saved or an archive saved of what we're doing. Hey, Matt. I would say most people wanting to learn modeling could teach themselves fairly well with online resources, possibly enough to get to junior level. The real learning when you come and start work, yep. You learn so much in your first year of a job. Many people dropped out first semester on my degree. Most people thought, yeah. Our course leader at the time was a chap called Dave Wilson. He was like the art manager at Evolution Studios, worked on Motorstorm. He was a very straightforward person. So he said on the very first day of the course, he said something along the lines of, a lot of you will fail in terms of like statistically. It's not playing games. It's not all fun. It's hard work. It's incredibly difficult to get a job. He was very transparent, and that's the best, right? You want that sort of transparency when you're doing this stuff. This is weird. This beam covers here, but then covers the whole thing. Then we got a square there, but we'll have to fix that out afterwards. Wait a minute. Okay. I struggled a lot in uni, barely managed to finish my projects. My teachers were extremely bad, barely knew anything. By year 3, we had to teach ourselves. Yeah, that happens a lot, unfortunately. I'm quite lucky I get to do what I specialise in. Virtual production. Oh, nice. Virtual production. Nice, Ben. That's cool. Mocap's always fun, yeah. Mocap's a good time. Funny. So what we're going to eventually do is, in the next few weeks, we're going to put these little pieces, like this can be its own piece. It doesn't connect into anything, so that'll be one piece. I'm contemplating, so I like the proportions of this. I think these proportions are good, but they're not modular, so they are about are they? They're above like 1 meter free. There are pillars. So there's two things we can do, right? We can sacrifice the accuracy of the concept to get it modular, or we can use the pillars. So I'll probably just end up sacrificing. It depends, because the pillars basically give you a lot of freedom. Whenever you have pillars, you don't have to be seamlessly blending between each side. So that'll be something for us to consider as well. So we're never going to see this. Hey Alvar, how you doing? I'm afraid to apply for a job because I think I still lack. Always worth a try. Worst they can say is no. That makes sense. Great video. Oh, thank you very much, Alvar. How you doing? Glad you enjoyed them. We'll only teach you the basics. You will have to learn the advanced yourself. Any feedback I received was ambitious with no input. Yeah, it depends on the lecturing style. You have lecturers that are like Professor Snape, and you have lecturers that are like Professor McGonagall, and then you have who's a really Hagrid, like really friendly, right? So you have a mix. Being too negative all the time is demotivating. Being too positive doesn't build resilience. You want a lecturer that is in between, because at the end of the day, you want students to build resilience and become independent. If you baby them through everything, that's not good. And there are levels to this, right? So at the first year, you will obviously be hands-on a lot more. When you reach second year, and especially third year, you should be a lot more hands-off. And the students should do a lot more of the research and figuring out the issues themselves is the usual case. Anyway, let's want to test how this is going to cross, or how it's going to start looking when it's merged. Quite an active chat today. It's cool. Very cool. Very cool. See, because we're not 1 meter now, things get a bit. So it's like 1.2 meter or something like that. Yeah, maybe 1.3. That is something I will probably do a pass on, because that side isn't equal. But it's just a quick visualization for now, anyway. Oh, No better way to find your employment weakness than approaching companies, professionals for honest feedback. Yep. A few years before Baldur's Gate came out, I asked Larian Animator to check mine out, and he did roast me a little, but it was honest feedback. That's cool. You don't have to roast people. Like, some people say, "Oh, I'm going to give you hard feedback that's going to hurt your feelings," and it's like, you can give objective, straightforward feedback without being a dick. Like, for example, if you say, "Oh, this looks terrible," that's not good feedback. If you say, something like, "This is really lacking in this," or "This looks poorly done, this is how you fix it," that's more objective, right? So it's just about being straightforward. Game studio will quickly build that in you anyway, because no one's got time for just complimenting all the time. It's a product, right? You got to get stuff shipped, get it out there. So the thicker the skin, the more you can do that, the better. No. What's our naming convention? Wall blower. To a collection. Then there we go. You can't array a collection, can you? No. Okay. Enjoy balance. I do my own thing. Cool. Hey, Williamus. Williamus, how you doing? Remote work be possible in 2025? What do you mean, Grim Tonics? Hey, Andrew. Let's see you. What do you mean emotes? Do you mean remote? What do you mean emotes on the channel? I don't have any emotes. I'm a boomer at this stuff. So. How many projects do you need in your portfolio before applying for a job? Depends. Quality over quantity. I would say one environment that shows trim sheets, tiling, optimization, and one well done prop. So when I say well done prop, I will show you an example. And I'll tell you the story I was told by somebody, which makes a lot of sense. There's someone that was a former student on one of my courses. Really cool chap as well. Oh, it's things in the way. That's the only problem when you type in playground games, you're gonna get everybody. But yeah, so at least two pieces that are done very well is what I've seen people get a job. And one high detail prop piece that isn't an environment. I'm trying to find it. There's someone specifically I have in mind that I'm trying to find. But you want something that showcases that you can use trim sheets, tiling textures, modularity, vertex blending, the bigger picture of environment art, basically. And you want the other piece, which is the high detail prop, to show your attention to detail and your storytelling and your ability to do really good material definition. It's not that you won't get that in the environment. It's just that the environment is probably going to be. Here we go. The environment is probably going to be more more thingy. So yeah, this is what I mean by this. You've got an environment, and this is what he did on his third year. How do we need to get good at this stuff? Yeah, so I got an environment. This was what he did at university. He polished it up quite a few times, and it's good, right? It's good, but there's nothing prop wise. There's nothing that is really that that sort of insane in detail, right? The focus is the bigger picture, which is cool. The modularity, the tiling, the trim sheets. And then you've got like this, right, which is the high detail prop, the storytelling, the scratches, the discoloration on the handle, the material definition, the scratches. They aren't just everywhere; they're only on certain edges. And when you combine a high detail prop like this with an environment which has more of the trim, tileability, modularity, etc., you have a pretty good loadout. So that is what I know a fair few leads look for. Because making a prop, you go about it a little bit differently when it's just the prop versus an environment. So yeah, that's what I would probably focus on initially. And that would be a good start. But yeah, you only really need 2 pieces. Do 2 pieces really good, and you'll be good. That's my opinion. Everyone's got a different opinion about that. So I'll start working on my side project. Hey, Andre, you can't array a collection, but you can right-click a collection and instance the scene. What does that do? Instant selective collections. Ah, okay. This is cool. What is that doing then? Oh shit! My mouse just went crazy. I'll keep an eye on that. Okay, interesting. I'm getting used to double clicking collections because I would click it once thinking it's Maya, and then nothing would move. So it's just like little behaviors like that. I used to. So ignore this. This isn't testing the snapping. This is just some quick visualization. If I go 1 meter, these are going to be tighter, and there's not going to be much room, even at a higher focal length, between these. So that's the only thing that I'm sort of going against at the moment for having this being a 1 meter. These a little bit thicker, but we can also wonkify them afterwards. For anyone that's joining, we're focusing on blocking out, and we're basically going to use the stuff we make on the stream to make stuff for the channel and stuff like that. So you end up. Yeah, okay, so you are slightly on the center line there. You are pretty much in the middle. It's cool. This third one, yeah, sure, looks like we're on the side, or we can have it in the middle. So I'm just talking out loud with my thought process. When I used to teach environment art, I'd spend a long time on blockouts, colors, because once you lock in the blockout for stuff, even like this is a pretty simple scene, but when you're locking out like lots of set dressing, the more you lock out, the better you're going to have in terms of a better time in production once it's in Unreal. So yeah, and coloring the elements as well is pretty important. Yeah, you can go to grey, but like look at the readability, right, compared to having some shadows and some color on. Hey Matt, you're right. 3D artist Matt. Which Matt? Do I know you, Matt? Are you new? Mick keeps cutting out. Is my microphone cutting out a lot? It could be the attack gain, maybe. Let me know. Cheers, Andrew. Nice to meet you, Matt. How you doing? It's Matt from Derby. Hold on. It's Matt from Derby. How many Matts do I know from Derby? That still in Derby or not from Derby? It's from Derby. Even is in Derby University, because that's going back. I'd have to dig into my memories for that one. Derby University. Don't know if anyone here from the UK knows of that course. I used to be on that one a very long time ago. Very long time ago. Guessing game now. There's somebody from Derby. Renzo Palmisano. Palmisano. Cheers, Benjamin. Take care, man. Thanks for popping by. So if Renzo knows you and I know you, that means you are possibly two people. You are either the man, the myth, the legend that made the running robot, or you are Matt the lecturer, which I don't think you are because I think he has a different YouTube name. I think you're Staff's Uni over agent London Matt. I could be wrong. That's my guess anyway. How you doing, Renzo? How's teaching? Well, it is Matt the lecturer. Wait, what? How many YouTubes do you have? I'm sure you've left me a comment on that is a completely different name. We didn't have multiple Matt lecturers, did we, Renzo? I only remember one Matt lecturer, and that was Matthew. The suspense is killing me. It's tired marking season. Yeah, yeah. How often do you mark, by the way, Renzo? That's a big. You didn't teach me. So okay, you're not Matt Jeffrey then. So you must be Matt Sirrett. Matt S, the king, the legend, one of the few survivors from Derby Uni, along with from our year. Wait, who else from our year? Noel is like an animator now. I think. Tom is a lead at Creative Assembly. Um, Yourself, me, Renzo's still surviving. Who else from our year surviving? I think Damien, yeah. You remember Damien? I think he works at End Dreams. I've been told he was cool. Worked with him at Eurocom. Oh, this is a big roof. So this roof is probably like it's got that window on. So we'll go a bit higher, I guess. Yeah, the staff's uni they mark like every 8 weeks. Chris Trentham, yeah. Playground Games is part of the ship, part of the crew now at that point. Dan, which Dan? Which Dan? So many people. Dan Dexter, he wasn't on my year, he was on your year. We're talking about the superior year, Renzo. The superior year of CGMA, not your year, our year. That's right. I'm kidding. Yeah, me and Matt have met a few times over the years. It's kind of crazy, actually. We've met in so many different circumstances. Like we met that time at my staffs, and you were, I think you were working for, was it some sort of casino stuff? And I was a lecturer, and then we spoke again, and I was working in a studio, and you were a lecturer, and now you lecture at my place, but the other campus. It's so crazy how small the world is. No, Renzo, I'm sorry. You know it's true, Renzo. The King year. So, Renzo, were you a second year when we were third year, or were you a first year when we were third year? Were you the year below us, or two below us? Hey, Nathan, how you doing, buddy? How's the portfolio going? Kind of green, please. And that's what you call them. I don't know if that's a disease or if that's what you call them. Shingles. Need to do like a proper research pass off stream at some point. Let's go and color drop somewhere on here. Maybe like, let's get some of the green. Definitely not what that color. Oh my god, did I click this blue thing perfectly with the color dropper? That's goat stas. Absolute goat stas. There we go, that's better. The goat. Yeah, didn't I do your reference for the staff job? What? Really? Probably, yeah. That's insane. If possible, can you look at my outstation? Probably won't have time. I do review work in the last half hour of these streams. If you are on the Patreon, second, I believe. Yeah, he wasn't cool enough to do it with us. You also did the same masters as me and Renzo, but a year later. You mean Sheffield? Dave Wilson's course. Can I ask why you colouring it? Separation and relevancy to the albedo. So you'll see the difference, right? When you look at this in solid mode, like you don't get, even if you had some cavity in Aeon, you don't get any separation, which is big for an environment. You get separation really early on in the environment. So if you look at the difference between that and that, you get the separation. You can also, when it goes into Lumen will take the colors and help bounce around. You can also start to plan your brightnesses, and it just makes blockouts way better. It's a technique I taught specifically as well at uni called the hybrid blockout, where you color your blockouts and you put in detail to show the silhouette so that you always know what it is in the blockout. So yeah, always color your blockouts with materials and edge loops. Just makes life easy. Dave Wilson. Yeah, Dave Wilson. Dave Wilson. Okay, so for context, 3D artist Matt, Renzo, and I, we went to the same university in 2008, 9, 10, and 11. And Dave Wilson was the course leader. And then later on, we all did a master's at different times at Sheffield with him as well. So it's a small world. Right, okay, so overlap there. This needs to be shorter. The depth of this is pretty good for the blockout so far. This will obviously be a separate texture. This can be a decal or a mesh, and then this will hide the top. So what we need to do is need to pull that edge back a bit. Then we need to get this jut in here. And then we're pretty close to putting this into Unreal and testing the scale and rejigging stuff, actually. How are you finding Blender? So I started using Blender the end of December. So these streams get saved onto the YouTube, and it's funny because you can go back every week. Things get a bit more comfortable. So it's fun to see, find out new things. Like last week, I found out about, you press G and then you press B, and you can put it on any vertex or grid, and then move the mesh from that without having to, move the 3D cursor. So that was, coming from Maya, that was big, because Maya pivots were like super nice to work with. So that was a big thing we learned last week. So yeah, things are getting there. It's getting there. We're getting through it. I wouldn't go back to Maya at this point. So I think I'd probably be more aligned to what's happening here. Also, I haven't 3D modeled in a while, right? So, and plus with the people chatting as well, it's nice. It's just a nice slow progress, and eventually in a few weeks we'll have something that we've made. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. I didn't know about that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I did my masters at Sheffield. I started okay. So when I did my masters, I was still living in Burton, and I was commuting to Sheffield, which is a pretty long commute. I did okay on my masters I did pretty good for the first 2 months, and then I dropped off. I didn't drop off the course. I dropped off mentally, and I slacked. I got like a 68 in the end, but honestly, like discipline and mental health is such a crazy thing. Like I was just like not, those long commutes were just like killing me on that course. So I should have really moved closer. I actually work better remotely than I do in the office, which is crazy as well. So some people prefer remote, some don't. So my discipline in recent years, since being a teacher at university, has really helped me. I think university really helped me. Being a teacher helped me sort of get confidence to go back into the industry and to be a bit more disciplined in time management, because university forces you when you're a lecturer or a course leader, you are going to have a lot of pain if you don't organize what you're doing. So yeah, it's my work style has changed a lot. When I was a student at Derby, I was obsessed with games art. um I think that's, even though I didn't have the natural skill for it, I leveled up to where I could get that job. um And then I was in the industry, and then when I got laid off from Eurocom, it kind of just nosedived in motivation and discipline, because the layoff just displaced me really badly. And then now I'm in a better place mentally and career wise because of teaching. So, but yeah, ups and downs over the years, and it's okay for that to happen, because everyone's human, right? We we all go through it. What is time? Yeah. Matt, do you still talk to that programmer you were doing, the running robot? I forgot the name. The running robot. That's what I remember. I remember you doing it with him, right? Whereabouts you working now? So I'll give you a quick timeline of the last 3 years. Yeah, yeah, Matt. That's teaching has been such a help as an artist as well. So I left Staffs Uni, Nathan, and I was at Staffs Uni for about 6 years. I was a course leader, senior lecturer. Um, Left because I wanted to kind of. I didn't really have a long. I had 3 years in games before I went to Staffs Uni. Worked on a James Bond game, a virtual reality game, and PlayStation Home, which is like the second life of PlayStation. So I hadn't really worked on anything that I could really sink my teeth into, because every studio was like a year, 10 months layoff. So I always had this sort of itch to eventually go back in, and it was either go back in as environment art or lighting, and lighting was the quickest way to get back in uh, with my teaching job. So I did that, and then I got in lighting, and I learned a shit ton about lighting. It's such an insanely in-depth role. I'm surprised I even got in the first place with what I didn't know technically, but I got lucky. I was at Ballistic Moon for 1 year, 6 months, and then they closed it, laid off, closed, whatever you want to call it. That was in December. So I got laid off on December 25th, and I started at a place called Gunzilla Games in January. So I'm a lighting artist here as well. So yeah, we're on the lighting art journey still, and obviously I've got this EMC 3D stuff and the Patreon and the YouTube, a mixture of free and premium stuff. And this stream is basically a once a week check in with the community, but also for me to learn things that I'm not comfortable with, like Blender, Designer, all that sort of stuff. Because if I just load the stream up and do lighting, I kind of know what to do, right? Because it's my job, and it'll get pretty boring quickly. But doing an environment, I've not done one in ages. I've not used Blender. I've not used Designer properly. These are all things that are going to be challenging. So that is why I don't do lighting on stream and keep it to the Patreon or YouTube as well. So that's pretty much the last 2 years, because I left Staffs Uni about 2 years ago. 3 month notice, Ballistic Moon, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 year, 10 months since Staffs Uni, basically. So. Oh, that's cool, Matt. Tommy lives to me. Do you still play games? Yeah. Not as much, but for sure, I do. Sometimes when extruding from these thin planes, the normals flip annoyingly. Uh, let's double check it. That's one thing I've noticed as well. So when I'm in this viewport shading, backface culling isn't an option. But if I'm in solid mode, backface culling becomes an option. Interesting. But yeah, we're facing the right way for the most part. I just need to stare at this roof for a bit. This roof is going to take a few attempts to, well, for the blockout, it'll be fine, but to take notice of. I could have modeled over this image, but one day I'll do that. But I like to do stuff by eye for a few things. Just helps you look at proportions and see where you want to go. But for sure, you can model over this with F-Spy or anything like that if you really wanted. It depends on what your goal is. I need to make a mirror for this because I'm just modeling at the moment. Need to put some research on. It's all good, Nathan. It happens. Everywhere's laying off. Ubisoft just did layoffs. It's horrible, man. Do I get any of that if I'm in viewport shading? I notice if I go from viewport to solid, I get different options, which is obviously I like this one because you get the shadow information and gives a little bit of separation. Okay, I see. Speaking of motivation, watching streams like this do help. Not made anything for my portfolio forever. But you don't mind me getting involved with the chat? Yeah, for sure. That's what it's about. Community. Extruding would say flip. Appreciate you chatting and sharing knowledge, Andrew. There is another drop down, third button to the right. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Anyway, this will probably flip. Let's go back more. Actually, no, hold on. It's a lie. It's perspective. So there to there. So we can probably put it back a little more. That's fine. This is going to be its own modular chunk anyway, these windows at the top. Third to the right, counting from the left. 1, 2, 3. Not available in current mode. Probably because I'm in material mode. Oh good though. I know they're facing the right way for the most part because I have invisible back faces on. So what are we doing? We are putting you in half. This would be a good one. I've not added an edge loop yet. I've always subdivided. So what's the hotkey for adding an edge loop? Loop, slide, and cut. Control R. Okay. What are the behaviors of this? So this is snapping at the moment. So snaps on. Oh, okay, hold on. This is interesting. So you click once, then it will let you drag. But the first click is to, I guess, align to something. And then it lets you drag. Ah, interesting. Interesting. I don't want to make the roof a bit chunkier. I don't like how thin this is. Also a beam there. Control R, yeah. Hey Slay, how you doing? Yeah, how's everyone's Thursday going? You can mouse wheel to add more edges. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. I do like that. Now let's make the roof a bit beefier. Just for now. We'll fix it afterwards. Not. So we're grabbing, and then we want to make it beefier. So local. No. Okay. So normal. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Side view it. And then it messed up this edge a little bit. So yeah, we want to fix this. We fix this one actually. be wider. Lock this in as a measuring tool next. I was working on a project for a client and we had an outsourced studio doing a lot of the 3D, and I was integrating into Engine, got a blend file from them, and all the faces in the scene were red. Does the industry allow the use of Blender? Yep. Hingons everywhere, duplicated materials. It sounds like outsource. I've done a lot of outsourcing in my time. Depends on when you work, as it's free. DCT is the ones you sort for it. For transformation, orientation, local, global, there's a plus button on the right, which will store the transforms of the selection. There was a plus button on the right. Up here? Oh. So if I click that, it snapshots like the point of it. Take a note of that, hit the plus. I'm remote working now. Yeah, remote work. Same here. Can't commute to Germany, can I? Okay, so I guess at some point you would lose the face normal if you needed to do that. Good to know though, just in case. I'll eventually learn these things the more I use Blender, so it's all good. Hey John, you're right, buddy. How you doing? So I guess you could store the orientation of a blockout normal on the roof, add a bunch of detail, but still keep that transform if for simplicity, is what I'm imagining. Blender is wonderful, not gonna lie. I do enjoy it. Yeah, we're a month of using it. I say a month, but obviously it's a 2.5 hours for the most part, once a week. So I've done some little tests though outside. All good. It's gonna be okay. Something. Make the roof first and curve it later with a lattice. Yeah, not too curvy at least for now, but yeah, making stuff straight and then FFDing it is always good. I want to try something. Oh, okay. Something science. No. I keep mixing up my axis as well because I come from Maya, where the Y is up, whereas here is Z is up, which is obviously the correct way, right? Because it's Unreal uses as well. It's the place to be Thursday evenings. That's right. Every Thursday, 7:30 till 10 p.m. 7:30 till 9:30, chatting, questions, watching me struggle to try and 3D model, and then 9:30 till 10 is obviously the Patreon feedback where we have regulars that show their work and we look at it. So our regulars are got Leah, Matt, Mark, Finish Standard, yeah, and a few more as well. So Z-Up, yeah, I agree. Z-Up is the standard. Y up is wrong. I agree. I used Maya for 10 years, and I agree with that. So Z up is the way. It's the way to go. Yeah, we've got some great Patreon projects going on. Different scopes of projects as well, which is cool. Lots to learn from. And we get to see Leah's Miro board every week, where Leah shows it off as if you're selling something on Big TV, because you can see people's mouses. So always like, whoa, look here, wax on, wax off, sort of style. That's always fun. Hey, Maya Master Race. Thanks for popping by, Matt. See you in a bit, man. Why is it called Z depth if Z is up? Don't ask those questions. You'll be taken away. Enough. No more. No more of those questions. Although I'm keeping my accesses for most part. Give me those accesses. What we want. So you pretty much end right before you start here. So this is my thought process. I just look a lot at negative space between things and in relation to each other. So you'll never get a blockout perfect unless you're like model match moving it with F-Spy. But if you can get pretty close where it's not really noticeable if you kind of look at like the negative space or the proportions between things, is what I find. So obviously, once we look at it in Unreal with the third person camera, that's going to really tell us a lot. And then we can refine from there. Like the top of these roofs shouldn't square off. They should go up into a point. So those are like other things that we can do as well when we are on our way. Hello, sir. Are you perhaps interested in my current findings in the world of 3D? Swirls cursor. Go. Exactly Z depth. Love Blender though. Slap a texture on similar to tile spacing. Eyeball pull it. I'm all about blockouts. That was one of the big things I pushed when I taught. Spend a lot of time on your blockout, because your production will help you. Will be easier for a portfolio. Because the worst thing you can do is lock in a bad blockout, bad cameras, spend 100 hours developing materials, and then you can't flex back on it, right? So if you do a good, I'll show you some blockouts in the way I used to teach that we did, right? Because if you do a blockout with this sort of format in Unreal and colors, it almost turns into a see, I'm all over the place with my muscle memory. It almost turns into like a stylized piece of work. And what I mean by that is, so we called it the hybrid blockout. So you can actually find a lot of these on Google. And there's a lot more as well. I did a post about it in the past, but so hybrid blockout is basically you block out, but you separate your colors based on the albedo it's going to be. You look at your values and you review it in gray, color, and all this sort of stuff. This from Matt. He was in the chat, or was previously. One of my really cool guy, my son, my adopted son, my student. But yeah, this is sort of what we call the hybrid blockout pass. So it's inspired from an old technique Naughty Dog used to do, with some other things that we throw in. But basically what you have is, right, you have a blockout, that just isn't grey, because having grey like that is one of the requirements of this. But when you colour it, just look how much separation and art fundamentalist stuff you get there, right? So when you firstly you separate your values, right? So you don't go too high to white, you don't go too dark to black. You can sample your albedo, but also when you light this with lumen, you're going to get a better light response. And then once you align your values and your colors, it almost looks like a stylized piece of work. And then you add materials on. So it's just way nicer in the production process versus just leaving it all gray. So, and the second one is 2 camera angles at least. One wide angle, you know, you can go from like 20 to 35 millimeter. One close up that focuses on a prop, like 60 to 70 millimeter, maybe higher. And then you lock in, right? But I've spoken about this before. I'm going to probably do a video on it. This sort of technique is, you can see a few of them because that's what we sort of did with it. But you can lock in some really good stuff early on. Route 1, hey chap, how you doing? Why does that name ring a bell? Route 1. This is yours, right? Yeah. Yeah. John. So this was John's. Same sort of thing, right? Block out with colours and value. Hybrid block out, John. It is chef's kiss, the way to be. So yeah, colour your blockouts basically. Old school 1990. That's really old school, John. Like 200. Old school 199. Before the time of... Do you think remote would be available for the hard surface junior positions at Gunzilla? As I've been looking at the job, I couldn't say. I'm a lighting artist at Gunzilla, so a completely separate team. You can always try. Worst they can say is no, right? So always try. But I am not on that team. I'm clearly a dinosaur. I did a post on it a long time ago, but yeah, a video could be good as well. It's a modified version of a very old Naughty Dog technique, which you can find online as well. But that's the reason we're doing this as well, right? Once I eventually get this to a blockout standard I'm happy with in the next few weeks, we do a video on it. So we get to have a bit more practical work. You know what I'm saying? So these models we do on stream, they eventually will form the basis of future videos on the channel. So yeah, you see a difference there, right? Just grey and then material. Exactly. Lighting artists will love you if you do it as well, because that will bounce off the color. And it's art fundamentally as well. Like, you know, game artists lack art fundamentals a lot of the time. So thinking about color and value early is going to help you. I know this because I can't draw for shit. So yeah. When we worked on Broken Sword, Sleeping Dragon, the blockhouse was so basic, came from level design. Yeah, in a job, you know, it's they have loads of different things, right? You have your level design blockout, and then you go on top of that. But they come in a wide range of forms, I find. So it's mostly wood. So let's give this. Actually, let's... How you doing, John? Been since Gradex. John is very experienced in the games industry, and will also kick my ass if I'm cheeky. So If you come to Gradex again, it would be lovely to talk to you again there as well. And all that jazz. John also has a Discord podcast. So it's nice to have like these community figures as well. That's why I do this, right? To try and connect with community once a week. Nice sorted. Only 9 months of experience. What do you mean? 2025. Yeah, 2025. Tell me about it, man. Oh, no, no, no. John Stop Warfare. Link to John's Discord. I think YouTube allows links, so I will let John link it, or a link to his Grafters podcast. What was I doing? Yes. Man, talking and modeling is hard. It's got to keep practicing it. It's good though. Like I find time passes when I look at the end of each stream and what we've achieved, even though it doesn't seem much when you put the images. It's like, okay, bit by bit, it starts to actually resemble something. So proportionally, you can see that this needs to be way higher. So actually, no, let's practice what we were saying earlier. So this is probably that thing with the plus, right? So let's give this a try. So if I grab this edge and grab that normal and plus it, and then if I grab this by object, and then I see. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. That's awesome. I see. Okay. Yeah. You're getting use cases for this stuff is gold. I think about here is good now. Yeah. Yeah, I said Grafters podcast. Don't worry, John. Don't worry, I got you. I'm on a bad connection. Do you think Blender? Do you think using Blender puts you at a disadvantage applying for jobs, as most studios ask for Maya and Max? No, you just use whatever the studio uses, right? I'm using Blender because I don't want to pay £300 a year to be a hobbyist in 3D, especially because I have a YouTube channel and side hustle as well. Yeah, I would need to buy Maya to do anything. Whereas with Blender, you can just have it for free and do whatever you want. So yeah, that's why I learned this. Plus, I think it will probably connect with more people in the community. I'm not going to do Blender tutorials. Like, obviously, EMC 3D is about the bigger picture of games. But this does help with like the more hands-on stuff for the Patreon. But also building up examples for videos like how to block out and how to color stuff for the block out and why you do it. But I'm not going to make a this is how you model in Blender, hard surface, badass thing. I make boxes, I put materials on them. That's the extent of my skill set for this stuff. So I'm not the best modeling advice person to be giving you advice. Those days have gone, unfortunately. If a studio likes your work and wants to see you use Maya, yeah. Seems like a lot of good industry folk here. I've just dropped in randomly. Oh yeah, for sure, man. There's lots of industry people that pop in and out, and students, people learning, all sorts. John has a lot of experience as well, especially in games education. Escape Studios, which I saw a studio tour of the other day. Actually, it does look cool. I always heard of Escape. I first heard of Escape back in 2012, and yeah, obviously still going. There's also the game art education world is getting interesting because there's I think there's a now forgive me if I get the country wrong. I think it's a Swedish game art school company is opening stuff in the UK. I think it's called TGA Fridays. No, that's a food place. There's some sort of game art school that has a good reputation in Europe that is opening in the UK. So game art education is getting very interesting with these things happening now as well, and all that sort of stuff. Let's just focus on this piece because this piece looks annoying as hell. He says it's just a box, but that's my life. Boxes are annoying. Alt E. No. E. I think this one's Alt E, right? No, it's definitely not. E? No. ES? E Alt S? Oh, okay. Figure that one out. Is it because I've scaled shit? Because I know there's a rotation and scale thingy. Or is it because my shape is scuffed? Okay, that behaving. So it was that you have to apply rotation and scale. Interesting. Okay, very interesting. I guess that's like freeze transformations. Well, roof is too chunky. Let's check the chat. Remember first chat about Blender. My mates went to Escape Studios. Stop. Matt Wilson, TGA, the Games Academy. What do you mean stop? I was close. I said TGA Fridays. I mean, I got part of it right. Maybe they'll have a TGA Fridays there. You never know. Just saying, man. Just saying, you knock it till you try it. I figure if anyone's going to know about the schools opening, it's going to be you, John. It's definitely going to be you. You're on that. You know what's going down. The only thing I don't like is I can't do X-ray mode in material preview, to my knowledge, anyway. So that, in fact, did not flatten it. Thank you very much. So that means we do the old trick of S, X, S, Z. No, S, Y. No, it's one of them. Let's get rid of these faces first. Let's see. Again. Yeah, not having it because you can't select through in Blender. You need to X-ray mode it, I think. So where solid mode does become helpful. Try this again. Edit. Vert selection. Global. SX0. There we go. We got it in the end. We got it. We're good. We're good. E, Alt S, first extrude, cancel, Alt S, and scale needs to be applied. IKEA meat. Oh, dude, IKEA meatballs. Dude, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Also, IKEA hot dogs, especially the vegan ones. Oh, but no, IKEA meatballs. So I've grown up on Quorn, QORN, and that stuff. I just love that stuff. I prefer it to mince. So yeah, I do love some Quorn. Do that trick, by the way. So edge, normal, maybe no. Yeah, because the vert's pointing out. If I had an edge loop, that would. I'm basically just trying to see if there is one way. So can we do Alt G, GG? Wait, I think GG is slide. Yes, GG is what I was looking for. So many hotkeys. God damn. The Games Academy. Yeah. You're still in normal transition. Yeah, yeah. I need to find good hotkeys for these. Maybe quick menu. Would I prefer a hotkey? I don't know. Yeah, it's like some stuff is GG, some stuff is Alt E, depending on what you're doing, and it's getting used to the dance, right? It's all Blender's a dance. That's why I'm glad I kept the hotkeys for the most part. I did change one or two hotkeys. Like I use F and Shift F to zoom in, and I use free mouse button emulation. But that's about it. I use a lot of quick menu. Okay, I'm feeling a lot better about this. I think we're not too far away. We got to clean up the snaps or not. We got to figure out the top floor modularity. If we want to make it modular or not, which we probably do for the channel. And then we can start modeling in some beams. And then get some of this in here. We need to get the windows in the blockout as well. And then it can go into Unreal. So I reckon mid-February, we'll start to put this into Unreal and assemble it and check scale and all that stuff. So feels good, man. Feels good. Welcome back, John. GG, then C is a good one. GG and then C. What is that? Let me do it on something bigger. What's happening here? Is it like working out like where each vert is? Because it's changing. Oh wait, it's working out like the boundary of what? Like what is it? Like the boundary of where the edge of the mesh is. Works better on edges. So if I press C each time, I basically I kind of get it. Yeah, okay. I have to see if I can use that as I'm modeling away. Yeah, some cool stuff in here. That GB stuff was really good for me. Like G, B, snap, and then it moves from that point. That was big for me. It's my favorite one so far. So edge slide, and then but if I hit C, it's like edge slide with like perspective lines. So it's not letting me, really. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. Does OBS let me type in my own chat? No, it doesn't, because I'm on multi-stream. Let me go to my own channel manually. Don't want to break this. It's too late, John. You broke it. I've lost all my flow. That's all good. I'll link it towards the end. Sophie. Should. Nah. What a hug. That's a trap, bro. You'll beat me up. Taekwondo. I don't look it anymore because I'm a chunky panda, but when I was younger, I used to do competitive Wadaru Kumite, point karate, sport karate from the ages of 12 to 14. No, ages 13 to 14. A different lifetime ago. What we were working on? Yeah, okay. Let's vibe out on this for 12 minutes and then we'll do Patreon. Why not? Instead of making a new cube, let's see if we can. Let's go. I did Goju Ryu from age 6 to 16. Which ones? See, I was meant. Yeah, I was. We had like kata and all that sort of stuff, and the main thing was called like Wadaru, but I was on the sports side a lot more. My dad, uh, he was like coach, and he had classes where he taught the kata and all that sort of stuff. And there was sport kata as well. I know that I was focused primarily on sport karate. I actually have trophies downstairs. I'll have to show them one day. So I guess that local thing's good because I guess I've lost the local on this. If I grab this and then do local. Oh, it's not moving. Oh, sorry, normal. I'm getting mixed up. Yeah, there we go. Although, yeah, I guess the normal's kind of pointing. Which I guess makes. If I had an edge loop, would that not? I was kind of expecting to get this going up. It's because it's been a while since I've done normal stuff. I'm currently working for British. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed one of your LinkedIn posts a while ago. You had transitioned over. Nice, John. That's cool. So for science, if I do this, actually, let's do the control R. If I do this, so those normals now should technically now so that's interesting. Like, expecting the normal to point up like that. Mm. It's averaging out. Okay. Can you have it take vertex normal, or is that not basically maybe I should grab. I want to just grab the average, the normal that is on this roof for all this beam work where it gets annoying. It's just averaging it. Okay. Yeah, I was hoping with those edge loops it would straighten out the normals. I guess it doesn't work that way. Yeah, yeah. I was trying some stuff out with it. I do want to hotkey these though. So that's what this comes in handy for, this plus stuff. Um, so I just have to keep saving a bunch of those for the roof at any one time. So if let's try it. So if I do that, mini roof normal. Normal. Nice. Okay. I have some of those hotkeys linked on the Stream Deck. Nice. Yeah, I never worked with local rotation or normal rotation much in Maya. It was always I always remember having to double click the move tool and move it. So this is a new. Try it again. So if I grab this and plus this, then I go back to this. No, that's even worse. I see the benefit though for sure. Gotta get used. It was a pain to get to. Yeah, maybe. So, okay, Andrew, it's storytelling. It's storytelling. Don't tell anyone. So when people say, "Oh, the anatomy is stylized," my wonky vert is storytelling because wood is not straight. Hide from my sin. This will be a good exercise. So okay, we got some wonky verts which we don't want right now. So what's a good way in Blender to fix these? Side view would usually scale to 0, but we're obviously on an angle, right? So can we scale on this normal to 0? SX0, which I guess that works, but would that be the solution? SX0, because that's going across the roof normal, which I don't know if we'd want. We can have a look. Let's unhide it. And then we need to fix these. We might be able to get away with it just by using that normal we saved, which again is a good example of that thing you said, Andrew. I'd save normals from an edge, then should my edge. Yeah. And we're obviously on the piss. Yeah, by quite a dramatic amount, actually. Yeah, I don't know what we did. Must have hit something at some point. But it's good. It's good to run into wonky vertices. Always maybe I can just a good one. Don't want. I want to work on someone else's concept art. How should I approach them for permission? Send them a message. I haven't sent this guy a message. I know who it is, and I'll reference them. But if I go into full production on it, I will for sure. You don't need to. You don't need to ask as long as you reference it. Everyone's got a different opinion on it. Never hurts to ask, but you have to reference them though. Especially if you get featured in an article, you definitely have to reference. So this is healthy again, which means this. Yeah, when we talk to some of our students, will ask, and some will just pick a concept. As long as you're not selling it, you're good. It can get a bit weird if you have a really good piece and you haven't asked, and it gets used on a business show reel. Whenever money comes into it, it gets a bit dodgy. When you're using that material. So if I want to use this on YouTube, it'd be fine anyway. But if I want to use this to sell a technique, I would need to obviously get permission, right? But if I'm just making it, it's all good. I haven't played with geometry nodes yet. I've played a lot with cycles, but I haven't done geometry node stuff yet. That's like week 70 of Blender. That's scary stuff, John. This is fucked up. So Yeah, as soon as you start trying to sell fan art, you're in trouble. So, like, if you look at all these mods that go on for years, and they get shut down by like the publisher, right? Or Nintendo, for example. Nintendo are very aggressive in protecting their IP. I guess that's the last thing. I did see something cool on a stream once. So I saw when someone was in Blender, I don't know if this is an add-on, but they were able to basically have a mesh like this with a center line down it. And instead of mirroring it and deleting it, they hit a button that just symmetrized the geometry onto the other side, even though it was merged. Like it was melded into one topology, but it would still copy the detail. I thought that was cool. But like for example, they would go into like this, right? And they'd inset it, extrude it, and then they'd hit a button and it would do it on the other side. Whereas historically, I have been mirroring with the modifier, which so if anyone knows if that's an add-on or if that's a Blender thing. Good. Right, it is past, which means, firstly, let's just go to our usual camera angle. Q set slash no slash. Probably, yeah. I'm avoiding hardcore add-ons until I do enough in base Blender. Q, okay, Z material. Righty, it's starting to look like a thing. The main form, it's an add-on mesh machine. Okay, mesh machine. Thank you very much. Obviously, proportions are aside and doing the roof. It's starting to look like a blockout. So maybe we will use the pillars to not have 1 meter snaps. I'm pretty sure I want that sort of spacing. Mesh symmetrize. Oh, this was on a face level. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so before we do the Patreon. Okay, mesh. Oh, I think it is probably an add-on. A few people said because it's not usual behavior to just do it on the same mesh anyway. So, but I'll look into off stream as well. Right. So where did we? Let's do the camera angle. Go. Cool. Starting to look like a thing. So next week, this some more refinement down here. Get a ground plane in. Go into Unreal. Look at the scale, and then roof block out, and then fix these roof bits here. But still pretty much in blockout phase. However, blockouts for environments can transition pretty quickly into production because a lot of this is trim sheet and designer. That being said, we are in the Patreon aspect of the stream. As usual, the Patreon, £5 a month. You get Patreon videos, feedback on the stream, Discord access for a little community. And I forgot to make a stream thread because I said every time we stream, we'll make a thread because we get lost in stuff, which I forgot to do. So that's had feedback. That's had feedback. So we are going to start with Leah. So Leah posts a video each week and also has a mirror we look at, working on a harbour level. We're in week 5 of that. And we'll have a look at Leah's latest video and then Leah's mirror. So what sort of stuff have you done this week to it, Leah? I know I gave you some feedback the other day on the Discord. I could see the planks right away. You've done a second pass on the planks. Did you go with the geometry then versus the tiling texture? Because it looks like the geometry, which again is better in my opinion anyway. Yeah, those planks look pretty cool. I know you were planning to do a tiling texture for it originally, but with floors like that, especially with nanite as well and lumen, yeah, you just get way better detail and natural gaps in there that you can go through. Cool. We'll look at the mirror. So are you focusing on one section yet, or are you still doing overall changes? Because I know you said you were going to focus on one section and detail it up as a vertical slice. Lots of time in the tower. Cool. Right. Moment of truth. Show us with the bid action of the mouse. Present us to where we are going. The mouse is all yours, Leah. This is where you're going to get sold. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Look at the segments. Segment separated the level into a folder structure, starting with segment 1. Very good. Adjusted UVs to 2048 by 2048 per meter. Damn, that's a pretty big size. Why 2048 versus 1024? What research or what was your process for deciding that? Because that's pretty high. Your second pass textures are looking a lot better. The scale is helping a lot as well. Make sure you have a little section that has before and after. I know you've iterated on this a few times, but it'll be good to see next to this what you had last week. Because there's a big improvement behind what you've done. I still think for this one, this needs a bit of work with how sort of like the highlights, and there's the board and then the highlight. And no midtones between, right? Whereas with this one, you've got some more midtones in there. But as we said before, right, you're going to be redoing the textures a lot of times in these projects. It's just how it is. So already a big improvement. Yeah, when you start modeling into this tiling texture, this will help a lot as well. And make sure as well. Oh God, make sure to pop out some of these just as well. You can probably use like these pieces and pop some out. Help with the silhouette. These being a silhouette piece is cool. That's good. Yeah, 1024, 2048 per meter is really, that's like, for example, third person games are usually like 512. And then first person games are 1024. But you also get more flexibility, right? So if you use 2048 per meter, you can't exactly make a 4K texture for a 2 meter piece. You have to repeat that one sort of section over and over. So 1024 can give you a bit more in options as well. So something to consider, I would say. Yeah, UVs look good. Good to see the UV unwrap as well. But this looks pretty clean so far. Yeah. Starting to shape up. You'll have to start considering where you want to put edge loops to blend with the new nanite stuff, vert painting on nanite or whatever it's called. Be wary of this area. Some all thin edge loops here. Cool. Yeah, texture read on this is a lot better. Yeah, this is cool. Let's get some shape to it, which will help a ton. Yeah, remember we linked that in the Discord. It's good to see you putting the research on there. From the OG. Nathan the OG. Yeah, it's starting to look cool. Just be wary of obviously the scale of detail, right? So the brick is like super fine and quite small. These are quite chunky, and these blocks are quite chunky. And then the fence over here, probably still work in progress, quite chunky. So yeah, you have to make sure the physical scale of your bricks makes sense as well. So could a character pick those bricks up? Would the bricks be that small to build that tower? Those are the storytelling details to think of when you're doing this. Yeah, planks being separate meshes, that's cool. It just works a lot better. Good wonkiness here. Be careful on the highlights, they get a bit strong in places. You've got some clipping here. Careful of that. Yeah, good reference. So you're justifying your modeling with research, which is cool. That's the way to do it. Find good research about it. Copy the technique. It's backed up instead of just trying to make it up. The best way you can learn. Cool. So is it just this section then? Guard tower and wooden planks, or is there any more? I say I really like the wooden planks in terms of them being separate geo. They're reading really nicely. You probably want to do some broken versions that you can model into, like Sea of Thieves style. Start cutting off some edges, or have a destroyed version. Also, just be careful of like this seam going all the way through the middle with the where the planks end. And it'll be good to see you get the splintered wood on here as well. Once you do a splintered wood end, because that'll be really cool. Yeah, yeah. You copied mine, which I said mine was really messy, but I like the decision to copy mine. But yeah, uh, my arrows weren't the best when I did mine. But yeah, this is cool. So basically, you take a block out and you justify it. So you point arrows to all the reference that you're basing stuff off. No, don't put me here. I'm shy. No, 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 don't expose me. Don't expose me. Trade secrets, Patreon secrets. I'm kidding. Yeah, mine was very messy, but you know, it works, right? So you can make the arrows thinner if you want and clean it up. But this is cool because everything has a grounding in reality. So this is really good to see as well. Planks look very homonymous. I can't say that word. Terrible at words. Oh, what does this word mean again? Like they look the same? Terrible at English. Um, yeah, I think once you add the texture in and color variation per plank and chip some off, it gets some decals and more texturing on there. Like further down the production process, you'll be good. So this is your vertical slice, right? This is a great section to vertical slice because you make this look really cool, and then the rest of your level will come naturally from that. All these other sort of sections. Leah using big words. How unbelievable. Need caveman words. Planks look too. Yes, there we go. Planks look too same. Those words I will understand. Not this sort of PhD wording stuff. Planks look same. Must mix up. This is the way to communicate with me. But no, it looks really cool. Um, your organization, planning, and process. Considering you're not even like you said, you're not working in a studio, right? You're aspiring to work in a studio. The fact that you're working in a workflow that would be a very organized studio is amazing. So keep posting the way you do. Just be careful of your, geo clipping. And the repetition in the middle. But you're at the very start of your material journey anyway, so this will come naturally. Have a look at Sea of Thieves, see how they break up a lot of their docks and steps and stuff like that. But yeah, this sort of stuff will be cool. When you add this sort of stuff through vertex painting, this will help you break up the repetition in those areas. But cool. Yeah, the wood splints will be really cool to see on the docks and the stairs as well. Is there anything you would like to ask before I move on to the next person, or you're curious about? Mm, no worries. Yeah, just keep working on the grid now. Let's say I don't mind 2048 per meter. Like, it just means that you probably have to have 1 meter pieces a lot of the time. If they go 1 to 1, right? If they snap together. I don't even know if you will have because you've got docks and a building, so a lot of your stuff just gets broken up anyway by wood. So the more pillars you have, the better. But yeah, before afters on each one, and you'll be good as well. But cool, very good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing this section really develop on this camera angle. So keep this camera angle, save it every time you work on it, and at the end you'll have a nice GIF of that going side by side until you reach the final production. And it shows your whole process as well. But cool, good stuff. Yeah, cheers, John. Take care, man. Thanks for popping by. A lot of things I could do this week. It's not over yet. Giga, are you here? Gigantomeka. So what did we say last week about this? I think we said, the same sort of approach with Leah's, right? Once you're happy with the bigger picture, just lock an area down, one section, and work on it. Also, I'll load up your Miro, but having before afters will be good as well, to help remind me of how it looked before, because you do that in a studio, right? Before afters of everything. Have a think about your lights. So all of these lights have equal spacing until here. What is the reason for that, and why is that gap there? So is it an error or is it on purpose? Just consider the way your light is placed there. Oh, is the train going to get you? Are you also, for all your cover elements, like the barrels and anything you can cover behind, have you got documentation or rules for how high this should be? I assume so, but make sure you show that stuff as well. If not, make sure you have a set height for your cover pieces. Because in a studio, you would be like, okay, all cover needs to be 1.2 meters high, as an example, because it works with the system. So something to consider as well with your design documentation. The scale feels very big just because it is all blocks at the moment. So the more man-made props you get in, the better the scale is going to feel. Also, when you decide to detail up one of these areas, that'll be a good way to get some scale in as well. So can you complete a game loop of this? Can you start the game, get to the end, level up? Can you complete one loop of this? Because if not, that's something you want to work on as well. Like, can you get to the end of the level and finish it, essentially? Because yours is more of a gameplay level in the grand scheme of things. Have a look at your mirror. All your mirrors also nicely organized. Some good Miro A game going on here. Dividing the map. Yep, that's good. What would be cool is, unless you already have it, which you do. Nice. This is what I want to see. Cool. This is good. Yeah, this sort of stuff will help you really sort of separate stuff. Ignore all the stuff at the bottom. What's this? Animation project. Are you betraying me? This is an environment art and lighting stream. Are you betraying me with animation project on the same Miro board? He's got to go. Let's get it. Leah, escort him out. Let's get him out. We don't have any animators in here. Yeah, this is great planning. I would say, yeah, cool. Nice angles as well. Which area are you thinking of picking to detail up? Any preference? 4 looks kind of big. Personally, I think 2 and 1 look pretty cool. 3's kind of not too bad either. Shame upon thee, Giga. Yeah, good research. The spawn one. Okay. Yeah, so to give you an example, this map is so big that you would probably have like 1 person per area, 1 to 2 people per area working on it, just to give you an example of how big your task is. So just be wary of the scope you have on this. So I think detailing up one area will be good, because if you run out of time eventually, you've got 1 cool area. So it's got a lot of contingency built in to it. Trim sheet modularity. Yep, cool. Nice. Yeah, man, good. There's a good body of research here to help strengthen the way you work on stuff. What's next? Are you working on one area next, or are you still working on the overall stuff? Going out of focus. I always go out of focus towards the end of the stream. It's my webcam getting tired as well. Giga, what's this? What's this, Giga? Is that what I think it is? Do my eyes deceive me? Giga, just for you, I'm going to activate my production value webcam switch, which I've forgotten how to do. Aha. Giga. What is this, Giga? Is that a rect light? Is that a rectangle light, Giga? It's Galaxy Ripple. Tasty treat. But it can be used as a weapon, Giga. Now, you know my beef with area lights. Remember. You made me activate the webcam production value. So, rect lights and point lights are about 6 times more expensive than 1 spotlight. So, because I never get to use rect lights or point lights in games, when I see a rect light, I activate. Fight or flight, you could say. But yeah, just be wary. Rect lights are so expensive. We don't really use them. So I would recommend spotlights personally. But cool, man. Really good Miro, good planning, good approach. Seeing this top-down stuff is really cool. You're on the right tracks. You got some minor notes about the set dressing and scale, but yeah, let's start detailing up one of these grids here, and you'll be good. And let's get rid of those rect lights and change them to spotlights. Well, cool, man. Very good. Let me go back to I've deflated. There we go. Every time I see a red light, and then back to normal. Who's next? See, I didn't make a thread, so I don't know who wants to be on stream, who doesn't. There isn't any more work outside of Matty's, which we already spoke about for the modularity. And then Smooth's, which we've given a lot of feedback. However, Smooth's carpet is looking super juicy with some parallax occlusion. So yeah, we've got some cool projects being done that people are sharing on the Discord, which is a nice small exclusive community as well. One of the many perks, the 3 to 4 perks that you get for being a Patreon. Is there anyone on the Discord that wants me to look at their stuff? I'm going to be around for about 10 minutes more. And somebody just joined the Discord. We have a new Patreon. Hold on. This is perfect timing. Cat wave hello. Mark's favourite thing, my amount of cat gifts I have. We have a new Patreon on the Discord. Actually, let's change the animal. Monkey hello. I know Dale. No, Leah, stop typing. Don't steal. I see you trying to steal my idea. Oh, I found the perfect one. Me every time a Patreon comes in. Anyway, back to business. Dale, thank you, brother. Thanks for joining the Patreon. Have you much appreciated? The Discord's got a nice small feeling to it. We have like 6, 7 regular chatters. Some from industry, some on the path to industry, some lecturers. You'll see the Patreon videos in the channel and posts that you'll have access to. And I dedicate the last 30 to 40 minutes of these streams to Patrons as well. So thank you very much. So is there anyone, because I haven't made the thread, anyone on the Patreon or Discord that has any work left before I close up shop? But yeah, there's about 6 projects ongoing in the WIP channel, and there's some really good stuff going on in there as well, and problem solving and feedback. But yeah, I need to make my Miro as well at this stage. It's funny though, you can look. I'm hanging around for about 7 more minutes, so just in case. But it is funny to look on the. I need to make a video soon as well on something outside of Patreon. It's funny to look at the last few streams. Damn, caught in HD. Giga using rec lights, activate CMC 3D. But it's fun to see where we end up, right? So, you know, that's paying myself 1p per ad. That's an extra Freddo. Yeah, cheers, Slate. But it's fun to look back as well of like, where did we end up at the end of this stream? Bro, we didn't even make anything at the end of this stream. We just ended up with a box. I was in a crisis. What did we end up in the second stream? That's when we started modeling the thing. Yeah, so in the second stream, we ended up with that. In the third stream, we ended up with that. In the fourth stream, we ended up with that. That's where we left off. And we are currently here. So yeah, slow, gradual progress. I guess that's good about having the VODs. I can just keep progress screenshots of what I've been doing. So yeah, we're slowly getting there with the process that we are doing. So soon this will go into Unreal. We'll run around it. We'll look at it from multiple angles. We'll look at stuff like this, where there's this little overhang, decide what we want to do with it. And we'll think about our scale as well. But yeah, cool. And we'll work on that bugger. Well, every stream we're learning cool stuff, which is cool. Yeah, the life of a lecturer, marking all the time. What you don't know is Renzo's project is actually his bedroom. It's actually accurate to real life. Hang around for 5 more minutes if there's any more Patreon Discords I've missed. And then, because we started the stream 5 minutes late, so not the 5 minutes, I will. Oh, Matty's done an hourglass. Matt is our procedural wizard. Does everything procedurally. Yeah, cool. Just be. Like I say, you said you did it. The brain power for it. Yeah, cool. Just double check the shape. Gets a bit wonky. Textures are probably minimal for now. Placeholder, but you know, just be wary of where this moss builds up. And check your texture density. This doesn't look like maybe a 1024 per meter. So look at the TD as well, because that stuff will be very important. But your scene, especially Matty, is coming on really well. Because you did, I know we did a mentorship a few months ago, and look at how far you've come from that mentorship to where you are now. Trying to find your latest render, the whole room. Like you've already progressed so much. So yeah, it's just you've got to keep going. And what you learn from this, you'll be able to apply to the next one. But yeah, your progression already is awesome. Of course, I still sleep in a car. It's cool as well because most people on the Discord are at the same phase, right? Most people are exiting blockout. He's modeled everything procedurally, so he's super fast. He's like a bit more further ahead. The classroom one and mocks are about almost the same as well. Yeah, it's a really cool classroom scene that Smooth's doing. But they haven't posted up, so I'm not sure if they want it to be seen. So I'll make a thread for next week for that. Yeah, 2 more minutes. See if I can get the floor quickly in anyway. And then it's going to be Friday. Friday. Get up on Friday. Green for grass. Yeah, week's flown. It does fly, doesn't it? Yeah, I think once a week is a perfect balance with how fast it comes along, to be honest. What have I done? Why can't I select you? And why'd you disappear? Ah, the classic. Okay. Green for grass, green for grass. And you disappear. Oh, right. So we ended up today's stream. Mostly roof, not too much, but it's getting there bit by bit. Roof stuff, proportions, duplicating it. Your streams need some calming background music. Dude, I got you. Yeah, as soon as I introduce music, copyright. Sued for millions. Oh, all right, guys. Thanks again for all the new people, the regulars that came in. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Patreon. Most active on the Patreon and the Discord Patreon. Other than that, I'll see you all next week. Peace.